Okay, so in the process of simplifying rational expressions after we may multiply or divide, is we may get quadratic rational expressions. This is the same thing that we saw a few slides ago when we did this with multiplication. So I just want to remind us that now we're going to quadratics, so we're going to have to try to factor. And this is our methods for factoring. So we'll go ahead and start with this one. I'm going to write this as multiplication first. So this is something times something. My second rational expression gets flipped. So now we need to try to factor each of these terms. This one can stay as it is. This one I can simplify out of 3. But these two both are going to require the ACB tree. So I'm going to go ahead and do this x squared plus 3x plus 2x first. A times c is 2. So what two numbers multiply to 2 but add to our b of 3? 2 and 1. So now this becomes a 4-term polynomial where I can do my factor by grouping. Hopefully we're all becoming pretty comfortable with factoring by grouping by now. The largest thing these have in common is a 1. These have a 2x. Oh, we made a mistake there. So the largest thing this group has in common is an x. So this top part simplifies to x plus 1, x plus 2. I got that from this. Now I need to do this ACB tree. So my A times C is 2, but this time I need it to add to my B of -3. So it's going to be -2 and -1. So I end up with I can pull out an x from this. I get x minus 2. I can pull out I made a mistake with copying that. That should not be a 3. That should be a -1. I can pull out a -1 and get an x minus 2. That way these two terms match. So I get x minus 1, x minus 2. So now I'm going to look at this and see which ones factor out. I have an x minus 2 and an x minus 2. X plus 1, x plus 1. So what I am left with is a 3 x plus 2 over an x minus 1. So the last part we're going to do is this last slide. I want you guys to go ahead, pause your screen, write this as something multiplied by something. Let's go ahead, pause your screen, write it by something multiplied by something. I'm going to go ahead and do that myself. Okay, so now we need to try to factor each of the numerator and the denominator. I'm going to go ahead and do the numerator for us. Okay, here's our a, b, c, and then you guys can do the denominator. 3 times -21 gets us to our a times c is -63. So what multiplies to -63 but adds to our b of -2? we end up getting 7 and 9, and my 9 needs to be the one that's negative in order to get to -2. I can factor only an x out of this first part. I can pull a -3 out of this second factor. Then I end up, oh, so our numerator I do not know why it doesn't want that to stay there. So numerator simplifies to x plus 3. So that's that part. This part cannot be simplified. I want you guys to pause the screen and do both of these parts here. Okay, so this would factor into 2x minus 7, x minus 1. This would factor into 2x minus 6. Now let's see what we can cancel off. I at least see that. I don't see anything else that the numerator and the denominator has. So that would leave our answer to be in the numerator we have that, and then this is our denominator. So this is all for skill 5. Bye.